Hey, this is Colin from Blackjack Apprenticeship. On October 30th, BJA member, full-time Advantage player, and friend to many other APs, SassyRed passed away. We wanted to share a few stories about her to honor her memory. I first met SassyRed at a boot camp in 2017. She was a therapist who'd gotten into blackjack and had aspirations of going full-time with Advantage play. Her game wasn't that great. She got upset when she lost a hand with pretend money, and I did not think she was going to get anywhere with card counting. But boy, did she prove me wrong. As it turns out, I was just one of many people to underestimate SassyRed over the years. Another couple quick stories. A year or two later, SassyRed met my family, and she immediately made it her goal to memorize all 6 of my kids' names and birth dates. For years, when she saw them, she still had their names and birth dates memorized, and it meant a lot to me because it showed how she values each individual person. And that kind of effort and care is a very rare trait in people, to put that effort towards relationships. It became common for SassyRed to stop by boot camps when we would have our pro Q&A panels or someone was coming to do a guest talk. And at one boot camp, the guest speaker was a blackjack author who's worked on both sides of the blackjack table, both as a former card counter and as a casino pit boss and manager. And during the Q&A time of his talk, SassyRed from the back of the room raises her hand and says, "Hey, do you remember when you backed me off and I cussed you out?" And she used the opportunity to apologize for cussing him out at her back off. Lisa, you are one of a kind, you are a legend, and we will all miss you. This is Blackjack Apprenticeship member ScottCao.
I had met SassyRed a few times in casinos, but only one time was it accidental. I was in Vegas, off-strip casino, looking for a double-deck game on a busy night. I found a spot open at one table, moved toward it, but then the woman next to the spot shoved me away and said, "Hey, I'm playing 2 hands here." I said, "No, you're not." She said, "Yes, I am," and gave me a sly wink. Then I noticed it was SassyRed. I moved away quietly, went down the row of tables and found a new table they had just opened where there was just one player. I sat down, waited for the new shoe, then bet the minimum. Count went up, bet 2 hands at 200, looked over at the guy. He had also bet 2 hands at 200. I finished the shoe and then walked away from the table, giving the table back to the guy first there. And then I get a text. It's from Sassy. She says, "Hey, you just played with my son." I'm like, oh my God. There was only one Sassy. I miss her dearly. The world's not the same without her in it.
This is BJA member Paradigm.
While I'd met Sassy a couple times before, one of my more memorable moments was when she attended one of the Midwest meetups. With over 20 people coming, it was a decent-sized event over the course of a weekend at an Airbnb. The more known APs could stay at the house. Sassy was one of those people, of course, and had a room to herself down the hall from me. The morning of the second day, as you might expect, I could hear people coming and going from the upstairs bathroom, getting ready for the day. Nothing unusual, but what was a little odd was that I could hear the same footsteps coming and going from the bathroom over and over. I wasn't sure why, but I thought, whatever, let's just get in there the next time I hear the door open. When I heard it open and walked into the hallway, I startled Sassy. I did my best not to gasp when I saw her. She had an embarrassed look on her face and just said a muffled, "Don't say anything," with a stern tone as she walked back into her room. It turns out that she had an allergic reaction to one of the meals we had the night before and woke up with her tongue being 3 to 4 times bigger than normal. She had been repeatedly checking herself in the mirror and didn't want to go downstairs until it went away. After the Benadryl did its job, she laughed it off and in true Sassy fashion got right back into things, but I still laugh when I think about that morning. Sassy had a big and warm personality, and it was an honor to have gotten to know her the little bit that I did. Rest in peace, Lisa.
This is BJA Pro Levimich.
One memory that comes to mind when I think of Lisa is the time we were in Vegas and I was struggling that day with some problems in my personal life. She took the time to sit down and talk with me for probably over an hour, gave me some great advice, and made me feel way better. Another favorite memory of mine was the time I got her to finally agree to get on the back of my motorcycle. She said only if we go no faster than 55. I gave her my helmet and I'm pretty sure we hit 80 going down some back roads. I thought she would love it and have fun, but she said she never wanted to ride with me again after that.
This is BJA Pro Joe 748.
Every time she would come by and help out with the boot camp, Sassy would always come help me do the test outs, and her job was to kind of like keep track of the count so that we could distract people getting tested out and make it, really difficult for those who wanted a more difficult test out. And she would jump in and like ask jarring questions, or she would interrogate the player about like, oh, why'd you do that right there? Like, what was that move? Like, can you walk me through what you just did? But then at the end, she would also be really caring and kind about how the test out went. She did a really good balance of like being tough when she needed to be tough, and then being compassionate when she needed to be compassionate. Doing the test outs now, it's always going to feel a little bit like something's missing, not having my co-pilot right there next to me helping me do all the test outs. Sassy, you're going to be missed, and I'll always think of you every time I'm doing a test out.
This is BJA Pro Nichols.
I remember the first time that I was invited to go to the Blackjack Ball, which to me was a big deal at the time, and maybe it's less of a big deal the more you get invited, but I was feeling a lot of the imposter syndrome and self-hatred kind of stuff that I am going through all the time, but it was like especially intense then. And Sassy was the person that I was able to talk to and who was willing to listen and give me the confidence to go, and I mean to even go about my business, because at the time I was so dissociated from the world that I was having a tough time getting out of my bed. She had a great way of listening without assigning judgments to what she was hearing and giving feedback that was not so much designed to convince you of something, but designed to help you think about things in a more rational way. And I appreciated that about her so much. I don't know that I would still be an advantage player had it not been for some of the conversations we had. And I thank her for not having too much pride to put the counselor hat back on, because I know, she got out of that field for a reason. We all get out of whatever field we were in for a reason. And she's already dearly missed. I'll forever be grateful for her insights and her way of helping me think about the world from a different point of view.
Hello, this is Loudon Ofton, here to talk about SassyRed, or Lisa as I knew her. Met her at one of the early boot camps she was at with BJA, and right away we hit it off. We always loved to tell stories and laugh, and I was always encouraging her to write because she had great stories and a great life story. So I was really excited when she was part of Tales from the Felt, and I got to work with her on her story, and she was so proud of having that story come out in the coffee table book. Well, another thing I had encouraged her to do was to write something larger and longer, and an email I got, now this was about 6 weeks before she left this world, she sent me an email. It was titled, "I Started My Book." And in it, she had attached her outline, and she said, "I'm taking it slowly." So I'm going to read to you this, which is a table of contents for her book that she'd started. She'd also sent me the first chapter. She titled it, "From the Sacred to the Profane, SassyRed's Journey from Christian Mission to Professional Gambler and Embracing Both." Table of contents. Chapter 1, Childhood. Chapter 2, Africa. Chapter 3, Friendship. Chapter 4, Shame. Chapter 5, Childbirth. Chapter 6, Marriage. Chapter 7, Rock and Roll. Chapter 8, Nashville. Chapter 9, Paraguay. Chapter 10, Church. Chapter 11, Divorce. Chapter 12, Therapy. Chapter 13, Sex. Chapter 14, Love. Chapter 15, Vegas. Chapter 16, Card Counting. Chapter 17, Cancer. Chapter 18, Hope.
This is Silent Assassin, SassyRed's husband. When she first joined Blackjack Apprenticeship, she said if she was going to put her time into it, she wanted to make sure it was going to be worth it. She trained hard and developed the skill set necessary to be a successful AP. She also already possessed many traits that would help her be successful. She was smart, focused, determined. She always knew the right questions to ask to get to the heart of something. She was honest and trustworthy. My trust in her knew no bounds. She had an eye for detail and efficiency. She could plan extended trips down to every minor detail. She did so many times. She made and kept good friends easily. While she did the work to develop the skills to be successful, she would say she owed her success to Spartan and his belief in her early on. She would say of the Blackjack Apprenticeship community, if I want to be part of it, I have to give part of myself to it. I can't just take from it. So after she had some experience and results, she would engage on the forum and answer some questions. She enjoyed success as an AP, but what she really enjoyed were the many enduring friendships that developed along the way. She loved her friends and considered each and every one special. When her health was failing, she had many calls and messages from her friends sending their love and support. There were a couple of Blackjack Apprenticeship alumni present bedside when she passed, and an outpouring of support for many others. There aren't words to describe how much she meant to me or how much I will miss her. She always encouraged me to be and do my best. She led us to have many experiences, many of which I never thought possible. She was a great friend. She was beautiful, always fun, awesome, incredible, definitely unforgettable. She was full of life, a vibrant, bright, shining light, forever in my heart, always on my mind. How lucky can a guy be? I consider myself blessed to have met, known, married, and loved SassyRed.
This is BJA Pro Spartan.
SassyRed had the warmth and wisdom of a mother and a spirit that matched a person half her age. There was a time in Vegas, I wasn't there, but she had a room in the Rio, and she was leaving to go home, flying out that day, but Levimich and a friend were coming in and asked whether they could use her room, so she extended her stay there. She left, she was gone, and he ended up locking himself out of the room with all his stuff in there, and they had to get that cleared up. It's incredible, like, how much she took care of us and yet was a peer, like twice our age, and yet we felt that she was one of us. It was so incredible. When Levimich and we moved to Nashville, just with the arrangement of being a professional gambler, leasing an apartment or buying a house, you run into some troubles, and sometimes just having a co-signer really helps. And SassyRed, she co-signed for us. I mean, that was a big deal. She told me that she'd never done this for anyone outside of her family, which really goes to show how much she cared about us and how she saw us as family. The thing I remember the most about her, though, is the conversations that we had. They were the most unique, deep, fun, lighthearted, and special conversations that I've ever had in my entire life. She had such warmth and such care and such x-ray vision for bullshit. You can ask her about anything, and she wanted to know you. Even if you were a stranger and you met her for the first time, I'm sure you felt how quickly you were able to open up with her. She had one hell of a final chapter. She found a fairy tale love, her husband, the farm boy. She traveled the world, and yeah, she was a badass card counter. She made a lot of money. But above all, she loved and was loved by many, which is the only true count in the end that matters. Sassy, I love and miss you, and your memory will live on through us.